Imagine giving your best, your heart, your time, your energy, only to be met with dismissal, sarcasm, or outright disrespect. It stings. And if we're honest, it's a feeling we all know too well. But here's the truth. How people treat you is a reflection of who they are. How you respond is a reflection of who you are. Today, I want to share 5 powerful ways to handle people who don't respect you, and not just handle them, but rise above them. Every single day, whether we realize it or not, we are teaching the world how to treat us. We are setting the standard for what is acceptable and what is not. And the truth is, people will treat you exactly how you allow them to. It's not enough to simply wish for respect or hope that kindness will be returned. We have to actively shape the environment around us. We have to show others through our actions and our words what we expect. Every interaction, every response, every moment we either speak up or stay silent is an instruction manual we hand over to the people around us. Imagine this, you're in a meeting, sharing your ideas, pouring out the thoughts you carefully prepared, and someone cuts you off. Maybe it's a colleague who often feels the need to dominate the room. Maybe it's someone who doesn't even realize what they're doing. The first time it happens, you might laugh it off, telling yourself it's not worth the confrontation. You smile, you nod, you stay quiet, and just like that, a message has been sent. This is okay. You can do this again. When we tolerate disrespect, even once, we unknowingly write the rules for how we will be treated. We lower the bar without even realizing it. Then it happens again, and each time, it chips away at you. At your confidence, your voice, your rightful place at the table. It's subtle, but it's powerful. And what started as one small moment grows into a pattern, a habit, a culture. This is how toxic environments are born. Not through one explosive moment, but through 1,000 tiny accommodations, each one teaching others that their behavior is acceptable. But what if, in that very first moment, you chose a different path? What if, instead of shrinking back, you calmly, confidently said, "I'm not finished yet. Please let me complete my thought." Not with anger, not with accusation, just simple, clear boundaries set with grace. That one sentence would change everything. It would interrupt not just the conversation, but the pattern. It would demand respect, not through force, but through clarity. It would signal that you see your voice as valuable, and that they should too. Respect does not happen by accident. It is created, moment by moment, through intentional action. It is modeled first by us, how we show up, how we speak, how we advocate for ourselves and others. We don't need to lecture people into treating us well. We don't need to raise our voices or harden our heart. We just need to be unwavering in the standards we set. When you are clear, when you are consistent, people will learn. They will adjust. They will either rise to meet the standard or fall away, and either outcome serves you. Boundary statements don't need to be long or complicated. They don't need to come with a list of explanations or justifications. In fact, the more concise they are, the more powerful they become. "I'm speaking right now. Please don't interrupt me. That comment was disrespectful. I expect better." Each phrase is a small act of revolution, a way of taking back the narrative of how you deserve to be treated. And the beauty is, the more you practice, the easier it becomes. Like any muscle, the more you use your voice, the stronger it grows. And this isn't just about you. When you set the standard for yourself, you set it for others too. You give silent permission for those around you to do the same. You create a ripple effect that can transform an entire culture. You show the intern who's afraid to speak up that it's okay to demand respect. You show the quiet team member that their voice matters just as much as anyone else's. You show the entire room that dignity is not a privilege reserved for a few, but a right owed to. Every time you enforce your boundaries with kindness and firmness, you model a different kind of leadership, one built not on fear or domination, but on mutual respect. People will not remember every word you say, but they will remember how you made them feel. And when they realize that you hold yourself to a higher standard, that you will not accept anything less than decency and respect, they will rise to meet you, or they will drift away, making room for those who truly see your worth. We live in a world that often tells us to stay small, to be agreeable, to avoid making waves. But the people who change the world are the ones who dare to hold the line. They are the ones who teach the world how to treat them, and in doing so, they teach others that they can do the same. It doesn't require anger. It doesn't require arrogance. It simply requires courage. The courage to speak up when it would be easier to stay silent. The courage to set a boundary when it would be easier to shrug it off. The courage to say, "This is who I am, and this is what I deserve." There is power in that, tremendous power. And once you tap into it, you will find that you no longer walk into rooms hoping for respect. You will expect it. You will no longer wonder if your voice matters. You will know it does. You will no longer be defined by the behavior of others. You will define yourself, and that more than anything, is the foundation of a life built on authenticity, confidence, and deep lasting respect. The world is watching. Every interaction, every choice, every boundary you set is a message. Teach people how to treat you. Set the standard, and never ever lower it. Imagine waking up every morning with a full tank of energy, a currency more precious than time, more valuable than money. Yet every day, without even realizing it, we leak it away. Tiny moments, brief encounters, careless words, they nibble at our spirit, until we are left wondering why we feel so exhausted. In a world that constantly demands our reaction, our opinion, our outrage, the greatest act of self-respect is learning to protect our energy. Not every action deserves a reaction. Not every slight deserves our sword. And certainly not every fool deserves our attention. Science tells us this is more than just a feeling. In 2018, researchers at the University of California found something profound. Small instances of negativity, even something as seemingly minor as rudeness, can drain our mental energy for hours afterward. Hours. Think about that. One careless comment, one impatient gesture from a stranger, one disrespectful glance, and suddenly the hours you could have spent building your dream, connecting with loved ones, or simply feeling at peace, are stolen from you. The enemy isn't always a major tragedy. Sometimes it's 1,000 tiny cuts that do the most damage. We live in a society that has trained us to believe that every slight demands justice, every offense deserves a defense, and every argument must be won. But what if true strength isn't in reacting, but in choosing when not to react? What if the real power lies in walking away, not in staying to fight? I once had a mentor who changed the way I see the world. He looked me squarely in the eye and said, "Every time you argue with a fool, there are now two fools arguing." At first I laughed, thinking it was just a clever quip. But the more I lived, the more I realized the profound wisdom in those words. When you engage with someone who has no interest in understanding, who seeks only to provoke or belittle, you step out of your power and into their chaos. You become trapped in a battle where the only outcome is the loss of your own peace. It's tempting, isn't it, to clap back at that rude comment, to defend your pride in the face of disrespect, to win the argument so you can feel victorious. But what do you actually win? A hollow sense of satisfaction that fades as quickly as it came. Meanwhile, the real cost, your emotional energy, your focus, your dignity, lingers long after the applause dies. Choosing your battles isn't about being weak, it's about being wise. It's about understanding that your energy is sacred. It's the fuel you need to pursue your purpose, to create the life you dream of, to show up fully for the people who truly matter. Every ounce of energy you spend on meaningless confrontations is energy you steal from your own future. Ask yourself, when someone disrespects you, when they try to bait you into anger or drag you into their misery, is this worth my peace? Is this moment, this person, this battle deserving of my precious finite energy? Most of the time the answer is no. Most of the time, the path to real victory is the one that leads you away, not toward the fight. There's a quiet dignity in walking away, in letting someone else throw their punches into the air while you move forward, unbothered, unbroken. There's a profound power in the smile you give, when someone expects you to break down, and instead you rise above. Not because you couldn't fight, but because you chose not to. Because you know your energy is too important to be wasted on battles that don't build you. This isn't about never standing up for yourself. It's about discernment. It's about knowing when standing up is an act of courage, and when it's a waste of spirit. It's about learning to feel the difference between a battle that grows you, and a battle that merely drains you. And that difference, that wisdom, comes not from the heat of emotion, but from the coolness of clarity. Protect your energy the way a warrior protects his weapon. Sharpen it through discipline. Guard it with vigilance. Use it only for the fights that are truly worthy of your spirit, because you are here for bigger things. You are here to build, to love, to inspire, to create. You are not here to spend your precious life force chasing down every insult or proving your worth to people too small-minded to recognize it. When you start choosing your battles wisely, something beautiful happens. You become lighter, freer. Your mind becomes a sanctuary instead of a battlefield. Your days become filled with moments of creation, of connection, of true significance. And you start to realize that most of the noise that used to drain you was never worth your attention in the first place. The next time someone tries to pull you into their drama, the next time a petty insult stings your pride, remember, your energy is not an endless resource. It is the fuel that powers your dreams, your relationships, your very sense of self. Protect it fiercely. Choose your battles with cares, not because you fear the fight, but because you know your purpose is too important to waste on anything less. Stay focused, walk with dignity, and save your energy for the battles that truly matter. Because those battles, the ones that shape your destiny, deserve the best, most powerful, most undiluted version of you. And that version of you is far too important to squander on anything small. When the world around us erupts in noise, when disrespect rattles the air and emotions surge like a storm, the instinct to react, to defend, to strike back feels almost irresistible. It's in our wiring. But leadership isn't about giving in to the chaos. It's about rising above. When others go low, when they poke and prod hoping for a reaction, true leaders go steady. They hold the line not with force but with calm conviction. Because the person who stays calm, who refuses to be pulled into the chaos, holds the real power in the room. Think about it. Chaos feeds off chaos. Anger multiplies anger. Disrespect deepens when met with defensiveness. But calm interrupts the cycle. It unsettles those who thrive on noise. It shifts the dynamic in an instant. Suddenly, the aggressor no longer holds the rein. Suddenly, the conversation is no longer about who shouted louder, who cut deeper. It becomes about who stood taller without ever raising their voice. Calm creates a gap, a pause long enough for truth, for logic, for strength to enter. Imagine a heated meeting where tensions were rising fast. A senior executive, feeling the pressure to maintain his dominance, mocked a junior team member's idea. In that moment, the easy path for her would have been to fire back, to defend her work with righteous anger. But she did. She took a breath, steadied herself, and looked him straight in the eye. Not with defiance, but with an openness that caught everyone off guard. And she said, "I hear your concerns. Would you like me to walk you through the logic behind my suggestion?" That simple question, calm, poised, grounded, not only disarmed the executive, it changed the entire trajectory of that young woman's career. In that moment, she proved something far greater than the merit of her idea. She proved she could lead, that she could hold her center under pressure, that she could be trusted when things got hard, not just when things were easy. And that is what people remember. Not the idea, not the mistake, not even the meeting. They remember the way she made them feel safe, steady, inspired. Self-control is a superpower. It's not loud, and it's not flashy. It doesn't demand attention. It commands it. It signals to everyone around you, I am not here to fight. I am here to build. And when you choose calm over chaos, you give permission for others to do the same. You invite higher thinking. You make space for real solutions. You show that strength isn't about overpowering others. It's about mastering yourself. In a world constantly testing our limits, those who lead with calm change more than conversations. They change the culture. They turn moments of conflict into turning points. They turn rooms filled with tension into rooms filled with possibility. And in doing so, they show us the kind of leaders we all want to follow. The kind who make us believe that even in the worst storms, there's always a way forward. When someone disrespects you, it's easy to believe you deserve it. It's easy to let their words carve deep into your soul, to let their judgment define your value. But the truth is, most of the time, their behavior is not a mirror reflecting who you are. It's a window into the storm raging inside them. Hurt people. Hurt people. It's a simple truth, yet we forget it when the sting is fresh, when the words echo in our minds louder than the truth of our own worth. But if we can truly understand this, if we can feel it in our bones, we unlock something powerful, the ability to stay rooted in who we are no matter what arrows are thrown at us. Think about it. Every time someone lashes out, every time someone tries to belittle or diminish you, it's almost never about you. It's about them. It's about their pain, their fear, their inadequacy. Somewhere deep inside, they are battling demons you cannot see. Somewhere deep inside, they are terrified of not being enough, of not being seen, of not being valued. Their anger, their cruelty, their criticism, these are their shields, not their swords. They are not trying to destroy you because you are weak. They are attacking because you are strong enough to remind them of what they fear they are not. Research backs this up. Studies show that individuals who consistently belittle others often struggle with profound insecurity themselves. They put others down because they don't know how to lift themselves up. It's tragic, really. And when you see it for what it is, when you really see it, something in you changes. You stop being the target. You stop being the victim. You become the observer. You see their insult not as a wound, but as a cry. Not as an attack, but as a confession. But knowing this isn't always enough. Our hearts are not made of stone. Words can pierce. Looks can wound. Silence can suffocate. That's why we have to be intentional. We have to train ourselves not to absorb the poison that's not ours to carry. Imagine for a moment that every insult, every cruel word is like an arrow. In the past, maybe you let those arrows hit you. Maybe you walked around with them, lodged deep inside, invisible to others, but heavy, painful, exhausting. Maybe you still carry some of those arrows even now, but you don't have to. Now close your eyes for a moment and picture this. You are standing tall, strong, steady. In front of you is a brilliant, gleaming shield. It's made not of anger, not of pride, but of truth. The truth of who you are. The truth that your value is not determined by anyone's opinion. The truth that you are. An insult flies toward you. Swift, sharp, designed to wound, but it hits the shield, and it falls harmlessly to the ground. Another one flies. Another one. And again they fall. They pile up around you, but they do not touch you. They do not break you. They do not define you. You are still standing. This is not about becoming numb. It's not about pretending words don't hurt. It's about remembering that you choose what you internalize. You choose what you let shape you. Every day you are going to face voices, sometimes loud, sometimes subtle, that will try to convince you that you are less, that you are not worthy, that you don't belong. But you have you can take those voices into your heart and let them grow like weeds. Or you can hold up your shield and let them fall to the ground where they belong. And there's a deeper truth here too, one that can transform not only how you deal with insults, but how you see people who hurl them. When you recognize that their anger is a reflection of their own pain, you can respond not with more anger, not with more hurt, but with compassion. Compassion for their struggle, compassion for their fear. You can see their humanity even when they can't see yours. And when you can do that, when you can meet hatred with understanding, you don't just protect yourself, you elevate yourself. You rise above the chaos. You become a source of light in a world that desperately needs more of. Imagine the power of walking through life with that kind of resilience. Imagine being untouchable not because you are hardened, but because you are grounded in love. Love for yourself, and even for those who don't know how to love you. Imagine what it would feel like to live without the weight of other people's insecurities dragging you down. To wake up every morning and know that no matter what anyone says or does, you are enough. You are worthy. You are strong. Because you are. You are not their insecurity. You are not their anger. You are not their judgment. You are something far greater, far stronger, far more beautiful than they can see in their moments of pain. And when you stand in that truth, when you live in it, you give others permission to do the same. You show them, even without words, that there is another way, that they don't have to be ruled by their fear, that they don't have to tear others down to feel tall. So the next time someone tries to hurt you, remember, it's not about you. It never was. Hold up your shield. Let the arrow stay standing. Stay strong. Stay you. Because the world needs you exactly as you are. Unbroken, unbowed, and utterly magnificently whole. Pain is inevitable. Disrespect is inevitable. Challenges, setbacks, heartbreak, they are all part of life's design, not life's mistake. Every experience, especially the ones that bring us to our knees, carries within it a seed that, if nurtured properly, can grow into a strength we never imagined we could possess. But the choice is ours. We can allow pain to make us bitter, angry, closed, or we can use it to become stronger, wiser, and more open. When someone disrespects us, it stings. It cuts deeper than we sometimes admit, but beneath that sting lies something powerful, a mirror, showing us the strength of our own self-respect. How much do we believe in ourselves when no one else does? How firmly do we hold on to our values when others try to tear them down? How bravely do we stand up for who we are, even when it feels like the whole world would rather see us shrink? Disrespect does not define us. It reveals. It invites us to stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this teaching me? That shift changes everything. Think about it. Growth doesn't happen when everything is easy and comfortable. It happens when we are stretched, challenged, and pushed to the edge. Growth demands discomfort. It demands that we walk through the fire instead of around it. And when we do, we emerge, not just unburned but transformed. Consider the story of a young woman early in her career, who was told she wasn't fit for television. That young woman was Oprah Winfrey. Imagine if she had believed the voices that tried to reduce her to a stereotype, that told her she didn't belong. Imagine if she had let their limited view of her become her own. The world would have missed out on the brilliance, compassion, and leadership she would later bring into millions of lives. She could have become bitter. She could have walked away. Instead, she chose to be refined, not defined by the fire. She chose growth. That choice is available to every one of us. No matter the hurt, no matter the disrespect, we are not powerless. We get to decide what the experience will mean. We get to decide if it builds walls around our hearts, or breaks them open to something strong. We get to decide if it hardens us, or humbles us. Growth is not about pretending the pain doesn't exist. It's about standing inside it, facing it, and refusing to let it make us small. It's about seeing ourselves not as victims of our circumstances, but as students of them. It's about understanding that strength is not the absence of pain, but the willingness to grow from it. Every hard moment is a chance to choose, grow stronger, or grow bitter. And the beauty of it is that no one else gets to make that choice for you. Only you can. Only you. Every person who underestimates you is a reminder that the only validation you ever needed was your own. Every disrespectful comment is a challenge to stay rooted in your own dignity. You deserve to be treated with respect, not because you demand it, but because you embody it. Remember, you cannot control how others behave, but you are always in charge of the standard you set, the battles you choose, the calm you carry, the strength you hold, and the future you create. Respect yourself first, and the world will learn to follow.